Hey, what's going on YouTube? I wanted to put together a video for you guys to look at the Convoy L21B and to ask and answer the question if the Convoy L21B is the king of the budget thrower flashlights. And this is not intended to necessarily be an in-depth review of this light. We will go over its specs, we will go over the light, but if you want an in-depth review of it, I would say there's other channels that offer really great reviews on this specific light. A couple that I can recommend would be Piercing the Darkness and Smothered Chrome. Both of them I watch on a regular basis. They have better quality content than this, but I just wanted to post this so that we can just ask and answer this question. Is this the king of all the budget thrower flashlights? And if it is, why? So there will be three parts to this video. The first part will go over basic specs of the light. We'll just cover, all the general info of the light. That'll cover probably a good portion of this video. And then the second part is going to be answering the question in the video title, and putting a reason why. And then on part 3, we will cut to when it gets nighttime. I will do some beam shots for you guys. So let's go into part 1 and we'll look at the general specs. And so for my Convoy L21B here, as you can see, it's got the B, and mine is in the emitter Culp M1. So what there is on these is there is a group of emitters that are called OSRAM. So what makes up those would be the Culp M1 that I have. You could also get CSLN M1 and CSLP M1. And they also actually offer another emitter with this as well, Convoy does, and it's the SFT40. So to kind of give you a little bit of info here, no matter what emitter you get it in, you're going to get this in a 21700 battery, which is what makes up this tube right here. The prices will vary, and I'll go over those, but the weight we're looking at with the battery included, 8.7 ounces. It's actually very, very light. Like, I could not believe when I initially got this maybe 2 years ago or so, I could not believe how light this light is. No pun intended. The length of this is 6.7 inches. So it's actually really not that long for being a long range thrower. It's just the head's a bit big on it. But I'm able to actually fit this in the pocket of my jacket, during the colder months. So I mean, it's not that big. And honestly, if I'm wearing like basketball shorts, I mean, it sticks out, but I can fit them in the pocket of my basketball shorts if I really want to. And it's actually how I walked out here to this room, with this in the pocket of my basketball shorts. Not really any issue at all. So here's the price differences we're looking at. So this is a $36 light in the current setup that I have it in. And if you wanted, just no matter what of these options, just know that for the 21700 battery from the Convoy store, you're going to have to add $5 to get the battery. So if it's $36, then it'll be $41 with a battery. If you already have the 21700 battery, then you're good. But so it's $36 in this setup. If you wanted to get it in CSLN M1, $28. CSLP M1, $28. And SFT40, $32. So no matter what option you choose, you're looking in the high 20s, low 30 range. That is really cheap for what you're going to get out of this light. And so with that said, let's look at the specs that you can get out of it. In this setup that I have it in, Culp M1, you are getting 452,000 candela, 1,345 meters of throw, so that's right around a mile, and 1,320 lumens. What's going to matter on a throwing flashlight like this, which throws, most of these are going to throw more like a pencil beam out a far way. Candela is what you want. That's the light intensity out in that specific direction. So lumens aren't as big of a deal in a thrower flashlight. You want a lot of candela. So 452,000 candela and 1,345 meters is how far this will go. The CSLNM1, 526,000 candela, 1,450 meters. Only 765 lumens though, so just over half the lumens, but I mean that's a lot of candela, and it's even a little bit more meters. And then the CSLPM1, I did not see the numbers listed on there, but I'm gonna guess it's right around the same. And then the SFT40, 395,000 candela, 1,258 meters, 2,000 lumens. So this is actually the SFT40 is not going to be quite as intense. Even though it's got more lumens, the light output won't be as intense for that total, because I like on a long range flashlight, I want to be able to see that whole beam lit up. It's going to be a bit brighter with the more candela. So if you like that as well, the Culp M1 or the CSLN-M1 are going to be your better options. But I will tell you, I was looking on AliExpress, and I'll just say, if you're interested in purchasing this light, I purchased this. Convoy did not send this to me or anything, but I will say that AliExpress is the go-to store for purchasing Convoy. Convoy has a Convoy store on AliExpress, but it can get confusing because there's a lot of other companies that are trying to kind of mimic Convoy and make it look like they're Convoy and sell what appears to be the same thing. So if you want to purchase one of these, I'm going to post a link to the official Convoy flashlight store just so you don't get confused and purchase from the wrong place. I'll put the link in the description of this video. But so I was looking at the amount that's been sold so far on these from the official Convoy store. And so for all the OSRAM options, which by the way, what I'm listing off is just a standard white beam. You can actually get these in colored beams as well if you really wanted to. But for the OSRAM options, it's sold 241 units. So that's all the 3 OSRAM options plus the colored options. 241 is what's listed. But then for the SFT40, 578 have been listed as sold. So over double. That tells me the SFT40 is really popular among flashlight enthusiasts and hobbyists. And if you're watching this, you may not be too deep into the hobby. Like you may be looking at getting a budget thrower. And so the SFT40, obviously a lot of people are purchasing. So when I look at the specs and when I look at beam shots, and again, check out somebody like I said, Piercing the Darkness, Smothered Chrome. There's a few others that I really like to watch as well. But like I even saw online people posted pictures from Piercing the Darkness's videos, and you can see the intensity of the beam shots in pictures from the videos, and you can see from all the different emitter options what they look like. I personally really like the Culp M1. Obviously, that's what I have, but I would say the SFT40 is right there with it. You're good either way. I like this one a little bit better. I think it's got a little bit more usable light. Not only is it a bit intenser, but it's got a nice, beyond just the hotspot, it's got a nice overflow of light, if you will, a nice spill of light that's actually usable as well. So that won't be nearly as intense. So I think the Culp M1 is the best option, but that comes down to preference. The SFT40, I think, is the other really great option as well. But any of the options are really good coming out of this specific flashlight. So yeah, so that's some of the basic information on it. Let's see what else we've got. So we've got the user interface. My recommendation is just go with the 12 groups. That's what I went with. That's what, to my knowledge, just about everybody goes with 12 groups. So basically what that means is you can click this tail switch in 20 times to change and configure between 12 different options, 12 different sub options. So you have sub 1.1, sub 1.2, all the way to point 12. So 12 different modes that you can put this flashlight in. And so what that means is, like, I've got mine just set in the standard mode, at least at the moment, which is 1.1. So that means when I turn this light on, it goes into 0.1% of its output. is on the first click, and then it goes to 1%, and then 10%, then 35%, then 100% of the output, and then strobe, and then bike light, and then battery. Why I keep this on this mode is because I like to have the battery check on there. But there's a lot of really cool modes between all the 12 options, and there's 3 others that I just wanted to point out that I thought were notable. The 1.2, if you're not in having any strobe type lights at all and you just want basic out point, 1.2 does a 0.1% to 1% to 10 to 35, 100, and then it goes back to the 0.1. So you don't get any of the strobes in there at all. Sub 1.11 would be 100%, 20%, and strobe. So that's almost, to me, almost like a tactical light where you have a high, or you have a turbo mode, you have a low mode, and you have a strobe mode, and that's it. And then 1.12, 100% only. So you can set this into a subgroup that literally the only thing that you can get out of this is turbo mode. So, and then there's, a number of other ones as well. There's 12 total groups that you can choose between. But on this, with the battery checker, in case you're curious, this works a little bit differently than some of the others I've dealt with. Like on Android lights, when you check the battery, let's say the battery's got 3.4 volts remaining of the battery, right? So it'll do 3 blinks and then 4 blinks, and that's what it'll do, and it'll go back and forth between those so that okay, I've got 3.4 volts remaining. This one right now, if I were to check it, it's going to just flash 5 only. That doesn't mean it's got 5.5 volts remaining. What that means is, this is actually pretty simple though. There's 5 settings. So if it blinks once, that means you have less than 25% battery. If it blinks twice, that means you're somewhere between 25 to 50% battery. If it blinks 3 times, you're between 50 to 75% battery. If it blinks 4 times, you're between 75 to 99% battery. And if it blinks 5 times, you've got 100% battery. So when I checked this, because I just recently charged this, I checked it before I started this video, and I got 5 blinks. So I've got 100% on this battery. So yeah, I would say that the user interface of this is really simple. You can choose what you want to put it in, and then once you put it in there, you can have 12 different options that you can choose from, and it's a bit customizable. It's not quite Android, but it's simple, it's easy, and I personally really enjoy the user interface on this, especially for a thrower light. I don't think you need I don't think you need anything too crazy, right, out of a thrower light. But to each their own. And so I'll give you a little comparison though. So for this specific option, right, we're looking at between $36 to $41 with battery. The most common option, which you may end up going with, is the SFT40, right? You're looking at between $32 to $37. If you were to look at other flashlights, and I just looked at 3 random ones, right, that I thought, okay, here, what can we get for our money? Because we're going to get around $35. We're going to get this light that's going to throw about a mile long. It's going to throw out great candela. It's going to throw out, just it's a long range thrower. Like you can get little pocket sized throwers. Like I've tried out the Catapult Mini, had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoy it. I'd like to get my own one day, but when you look at the beam profiles between that and this blows it out of the water, as it should. It's a large light compared to that. But what do you get for your money? Because for $35 you can get this. For $80 you can get an Ace Beam E70. That's a great light, great pocket size light, but that is over double the price. For $90 you can get a Through Night Catapult Pro and SFT70. So that is almost 3 times the price of getting this an SFT40 this is a dedicated thrower. That's also a dedicated thrower. So are you getting 3 times the quality out of that light? That's up to you to decide. I'm just trying to let you know, here's some different price options. For $38 you can get the Workhos FC12, which is Workhos version of a both side switch, tail switch tactical lights, just like the ones in the first video that I posted. So that brings us to the point of, hey, this is what you're getting for your amount of money. Like there's other lights out there that are really good, but you're paying $80, $90 You're getting this for $35. So now we're going to move into part 2, and that is to answer the question of this video, and it's probably a bit obvious what direction I'm going with this. Yes, I do think that this is the king of the budget flashlight throwers. And so why? Well, so the first main point would be because you're going to get the most candela plus range for the lowest amount of money out of this versus other lights that I've seen. The second option is because it's got an easy user interface to work with. You can use what it comes with right out of the box, or you can click it 20 times, switch to a different subgroup, and put it to whatever you like, and you can leave it on that forever. So it's got a really easy user interface. And the third option is because even though this is still a large dedicated thrower, it's jacket pocket friendly. So I can, when I'm wearing a jacket, I could throw this right in the pocket of my jacket and I really don't notice it. Like, it's completely fine. Whereas other lights to put out, you know, big beams like this that'll throw a mile are going to be enormous for the most part. So you get a lot of light out of a still fairly smaller package. So that is my answer to the title of this video. Is this the king of the budget flashlight throwers? And my answer is yes, and due to those 3 reasons. However, I will say I haven't got to get my hands on every thrower on the market. This is the only one that I still currently own. I'm always willing, like if you're a company watching this and you think, hey, our flashlight can compare to this, it can put out, you know, it can do this and it can do that. I would love to compare this with other flashlights, other dedicated thrower flashlights. If you want to send it my way, I'd be happy to. But in my opinion, and I'm just being honest here, from what I've seen and what I've handled, this to me has been my go-to dedicated thrower flashlight for what I get for the size of this package, the amount that it cost, and the actual light output I'm getting. This is the go-to of the budget flashlights for throwers. Okay. And then so part 3, I'll now cut the video over to nighttime where I'm actually going to do some beam shots for you guys. Thanks. All right, guys, so I'm out here in the dark. I've got the Convoy L21B. As you can see, I've got the wrist strap on with a larger light that's got a tail cap like this. I think the safe thing to do is to use that wrist strap or risk breaking your lens there. So here I'm going to show it to you over at this view first. And here is the 0.1%. So you can still see what's going on there. Still plenty of light, but that's 0.1%. Let's kick it up to the 10%. Or the 1%, I'm sorry, now it's 10%. 35. 100%. And check out that beam. And that shoots a mile over there. So now I'm going to take it across the street here and let's see if we can kind of light up those trees a little bit. Oh yeah. I mean, that's pretty far away. And I'm just lighting up those trees and you can see it's like a spotlight. And if you were to get this in a colored option, you know, red, green, blue, whatever, you basically got a full-on lightsaber in your hands. But yeah, so Convoy L21B, in my opinion, the king of the budget thrower flashlights. Thanks for watching.